Hey, what's up guys? KeenWolfPaw here, and today I'm going to be showing you guys how to make an island in the ocean. So have you ever wanted to build an island in the ocean, but the existing islands didn't work out or were in a wrong location? Well, today I'm going to be showing you guys how to build your own. So as you can see, this is an island right here, and we're going to be building something kind of like this, more like this shape. But the first thing you want to do is find a good location. So, looking through an ocean biome, some suitable locations would include something like, kind of like this, because it's already protruding out of the water. And that's going to allow you to sell the idea of your island and make it look more realistic. So, we are going to move on to the next portion, setting up the base. So for our island design, we are going to be using the shape of this right here. You might not always find the perfect ground like this, but what you can do is just build it anyways, because this will not matter very much, because as you can see in the Minecraft normal water, anything below that point will not be visible unless you're using a different texture pack, in which case it isn't all too bad either. So, just find a good place and start building your base. Okay, so to build this base, what you're going to want to do is swim down to the bottom. You can place a door for an air pocket or use the torch trick to replenish your drowning bar. And just build up a pillar up to the top of the water. And now, you're going to build your base out of dirt. Now, before you start building the actual base, what you are going to want to do is think about the shape and size of the island. Of course, the base is always going to be bigger because we are using the subtractive method, which means we are going to be building a square base and then taking away the edges and shaping it. And what that's going to do is allow you to get a good shape for your island. So always build the base bigger than you intend the island to be. For our island, I decided to go with a base extended 10 blocks in each direction from the center point, which is this point right here. Fill in your island now. Do not use sand because that will fall to the bottom, but if you do want to use sand, we'll go over that later in the video. Alright, so for my particular base, we are going to do this. And then the edge will go like this. Go in again. And then cut off this entire corner. And there we go. That is the basic shape of our island. Yours will be different depending on the shape and size you chose. And here is the shape of our island. I smoothed out the edges a bit more before we started to get to work on this. So next, what you can do is you can either work on the middle of the island, extending it out, or you can do the lower shelf. I think we will focus on the lower shelf first, because that just seems logical. So for the lower shelf, you can just start off. You can use either stone or dirt, it doesn't really matter here, but just go down at least 7 blocks. And luckily our island worked out exactly. And what you're going to do next is just do this all the way around the edge. The reason that we chose 7 blocks is because you can't really see further than that very effectively in the vanilla Minecraft resource pack, so it just works out good. If you didn't build it like mine and have it close to the water, or you didn't find a point, it'll still look just as good, if not the same. And once you have done that, it should look something like this, just a projection floating in the water, or if you don't have the night vision effect, it'll just look like a pretty good island. And basically, what you're going to do next is extend this out at least 5 blocks. The more you do, the more you can extend out the wall of your island. Actually, I'd say about 7 blocks out would be optimal. So once you have went out 7 blocks in each direction, you're going to end up with something kind of like this. Now what you can do is just fill it in and give it a slope, and that's good. And now the final result should look something like this. But if we look at it without night vision and during the day, as you can see, you cannot see below this point right here where we have our base. And that works very well. And as for the middle, you are not going to have to worry about it because it's filled with water. If you want to get rid of the water, you can just use a bucket to get rid of it, or use sand or signs to get rid of it. But it shouldn't really matter because mobs will not spawn down there. Okay, so what you're going to want to do now is surround the outside with sand. This is extremely easy because you can just place the sand and it will fall into place. And just do that for 2 blocks out in all directions. And then once you've completed placing the sand all around, this is the part where we start adding the randomness. So 1 block from the sand is the place we can place sand. We can't place it here because of the water underneath. So we can just add random points where it overextends, where it gets cut short, but mostly overextends. And then you can place dirt here. Place dirt here. And then just keep doing that all the way around. And now that you have that done, you should have a couple more random edges to your build. So now, what you're going to want to do is either start expanding the edge out this way, or fill in the middle of the island. And for this part, I recommend that you start using grass blocks because we need it to spread all through the island. So what I'm going to do for my island is go 4 blocks from the side. Now this depends on the shape and size of your island. If it's a bigger island, you do less or you do more. So we're just going to do this and follow the shape of the edge. And once you are done that, you should have something similar to this, depending on the size of your island. If it is a bigger island, you'd have more layers on top. But since we have a smaller island, we just did this. So what you can also do now is give it more randomness. And that should be good. And next, this is where we should start using stone if you haven't already. And basically what you're going to do is just go around 1 layer with rock, with stone I mean, and fill in underneath that if you don't want any hollow spaces in your build. Again, this is not mandatory, it all comes down to personal preference. And actually before you completely do that, in some areas make this 2 blocks or 3. In my case, I'll do that. And just fill in kind of like a cove area around it. And then from that layer, just go down 1 more and do the exact same thing. And then once you've extended out 1 block, what you can do is, I suggest doing, for mine, is doing 2 underneath that and filling that in, and then going out 1 more, and then down 2. This is going to depend on how you built it. If this was further out and this was higher, you would just do it in relation to each other, kind of. And if you're confused, if you just follow this to a general extent, you should be able to make it look okay. So just do this again and fill in the bottom until it reaches this layer down here. Once that is complete, you are nearly done your island. So what you just want to do now is get some dirt, gravel, and clay, and you are just going to surround the edges and patches of these. The visible topmost layer, you want all clay and dirt and gravel, no rock, no stone. And to do this, just kind of go random, like so. And sometimes try to go out of line here and place the gravel on the edge of the island like this, and that's gonna make it look a little bit better. And once you have that done, it should look pretty good. Just a few more finishing touches. Get some bone meal and place it on the grass on the island. And it started raining. Lovely. here's another look at it with the night vision on. Looks pretty good. And then milk. Looks amazing. Just like an island you'd find in vanilla. So that's gonna be pretty much it for this tutorial, guys. Thanks for watching. This has been KingWolfPaw. Also, I'm always open to suggestions if you guys want to suggest videos. Just like this video was a suggestion from a user. And that's gonna be it for this episode. Bye.